they're going to look at everything you're doing. And what we talk about within companies is from when the moment I clock on to the moment I clock off, that's work, okay? Who pays you for that work?
Oh, yeah.
The employer. Is it really the employer or not? It's the customer. The employer can't, the employer's just handling cash. If the customer's not paying, so you've got to imagine the customer. And we say to people, think about everything you can do. I can be responding to emails, I can be chasing people. And what you find is there's lots of things we do while we're at work, but in terms of whether the customer would actually be happy to pay for them, maybe not. And that's the challenge. Am I doing the right thing? So you can do it from your own time management when you're doing a job. What am I here for? Should I be doing this, okay? So we ask that question, and we talk about value added. Colin's already spun this phrase. It's value added is when I do something that changes the nature, shape, or characteristics. So when I'm making these stickle bricks, which are the value adding steps in this inhaler? Out of what we're doing, which are the value adding steps?
Adding the bricks to it.
Adding the bricks to it. Nothing else. Okay? Nothing else is value adding. So value adders, so that's the operators, just have a quick think, how long for you to do each of your operations? One operation. I'll pick on an operator over here, one of your operators. Seconds, be a bit more precise, 3, 4 seconds? 3 seconds, are you happy with that over here, 3 seconds? Four operations, 3 seconds, 12 seconds of value add, okay? Our first delivery came at 420 seconds, 12 seconds value add, 420 seconds, at least we can do a ratio. You guys, we don't know when your first one was going to come through, but it's still only 12 seconds of value add. The other bits that you have to think about is the non-value add is the stuff I do because that's the way the world works. If I could change it, I would change it. The waste is anything which is a complete no-brainer, I shouldn't be doing it. So Cole talked about transports earlier on. I've added a brick, I then get James in to pick it up and move it. Has James added any value? No. What has James added? Time, which costs money. What else has James done to it? You guys know. What else did James do? Pardon? He dismantled it. So worse than that, he dismantled it. Okay. So this is a good clue. So our target, and this is what you're going to be doing in a minute. Think about the wastes. Eliminate the waste, reduce the non-value add, and if we can, that gives us more time to do the right thing, which is value add. We're going to go quite quick. Overproduction is your first waste, making more than you need. I guess both teams processed far more bricks than they needed to. I said 30, we were up to 58.
We got 60, what did we say, 63?
Brilliant, so you're working so fast, you still didn't deliver it. It could be that we're actually buying too much. That's the best example I could find. Yeah. We buy too much and we end up throwing away. That was just in one town, one city, Bolton, £1.5 million worth of medicals thrown away because we overstocked, we overproduced. If we do overproduce, we end up with large piles of inventory, and you can see that. In the real world, this is not a queue of ambulances at their ambulance station. What is that queue? Where are they? A&E. They're not doing what they should be doing, are they? They're just in a queue. That's stock. As far as the A&E department is concerned, that's work in progress coming at us, okay? Inappropriate excessive transportation. There's some fantastic layouts in hospitals. James, you'd be knackered, mate, by the end of the day. Northampton General has got sort of a hospital that's about half a mile long or something, the corridor. You know, some of these people spend hours just walking. So excessive transportation caused by poor layouts. Layouts come from often using buildings which were never designed to do what they do now. So that's a problem. We've got excessive transportation. Inappropriate processes. We don't buy kit to break down. We don't buy kit to use it for the wrong job. I've got here, this is in our world, we're talking about changing machines over from one thing to another. Perhaps in the health service or even in the lab, you're talking about clean downs before you run the next process, okay? Anything you can do to reduce the time that your processes are out of action will be a good thing. So inappropriate processes, unnecessary complicated processes. Waiting, okay? Rachel, tell us about waiting. Yeah, so who's your operator for?
It was for that was...
Nicole, did you end up waiting? Great, isn't it? So boring. It's okay if you're a production line operator, you might like that. But of course in the real world, particularly again, we've gone for easy photos off the web. That waiting is people usually. The difference between the health service and other things, if I'm a client waiting for my flat screen TV to be delivered, I'm waiting. It doesn't really affect me. But actually, if I am the patient, then waiting is very real. So I'm looking for kit that's not doing anything. I'm looking for people that are not doing anything. It could be I'm waiting for materials, it could be waiting for instructions, it could be I'm waiting for test results. I have a test, I'm now waiting. Okay? So that's what we're looking for, waiting. Operator motion. One of our colleagues used to talk about this as being the Jane Fonda workout. It's how I am at my workstation doing what I'm doing. Very often that's about health and safety these days. A lot of the industries we work in, we're talking about bending, lifting, stretching, so manual handling, all those sorts of things. You could say again, I guess, even if you're around a bed, if you're a nurse, then manual handling, big issue, care assistance, big issue. You've got to make sure it's done. I found this diagram, it's basically where people are operating and operating theatres. You can't afford people to be working, travelling too far away to do their job, I guess. So I quite like that. I don't know if that means anything to you guys or not. So I'm looking to make sure the workplace is designed correctly. Bad quality, obvious waste. If I make something wrong, I've got a problem, it goes in the bin. I need to make it again because the customer still wants it, okay? And while I'm making the second one, I can't make the one that the next customer really wanted. So you could argue quality hits you 3 times over. Again, not looking to be controversial, I look to find some measure of quality perhaps that you can say, oh my lord, the health service out there is getting hit with huge claims. Whether that's a result of negligence, whatever, it's customer feedback, we're not doing the right thing, okay? We can end up with rework activity. Industry is very good at introducing new processes to make things better. So after James has broken it, someone else has to put it back together again. That's a rework process, okay? So we've got to be careful about that. Quality, also an issue. The biggest waste is waste of untapped human potential, not involving the people. So this company that we're working in has been around since 1795. There's nobody actually still there from 1795. But when we sat down with the team, there are people who've been there 29 years, 35 years. They know everything about the job they do. They know what's wrong, but not everybody listens. So giving people the opportunity to get involved with teamwork, to make improvement, it comes from the people. The customer also knows what's wrong because they're on the delivery end of the rubbish that you're sending out, whether that's a lack of service or an incorrect service, okay? So we've got 8 wastes, okay? Now, we're gonna, in a minute, well, we'll probably do this on group.